Hi everyone, this is Lori here with Lori Hooks. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Today I'm going to do some knitting and talk about what I've been working on knit and crochet wise this week. There's more crochet than, well, there's more knit objects, but I've been doing more crocheting. So I'll talk about those. I have no finished items, unfortunately. I did try to finish my crochet item before recording today, but that just was not going to happen. So decided to record anyways, and I guess I will show you it when I finish it next week. Well, or next time I record, whenever that is. It'll be sometime next week though, probably. So while we're chatting today, I am working on a knit dishcloth. This is just a basic dishcloth. If you're a knitter, you already know this, but if you're not and you're a crocheter, this is started at the bottom corner and kind of work diagonally up, and you increase to the size that you want it to be, in diagonal width. So I'm making a larger dishcloth, so I think I'm going to go up to about 50 stitches wide, and because that seems to be the more popular size, because I'm going to try to donate this afterwards. I need to contact the lady that I'm going to donate these to, but I think I'm going to make a bunch of them and then contact her and see about dropping them off. So it's not a lady that I know well. I met a lady, I explained this in my last video, but I met a lady camping a few weeks, well, it was in May when we went camping, and she lives in the next town over from me, well, a town over from me, not too far, but I visit there because I have a client there. So she was saying that she makes dishcloths and she donates them to a thrift store that she works at, and the thrift store, the proceeds go towards animal shelters and these type of things. So I thought that I would make some dishcloths and then contact her and try to meet up with her to drop these off. So that is the knit dishcloth that I've been working on. So I started this one since my last video, and when I knit, I only knit for, maybe a half an hour at a time. I don't knit that long at once. I do find that knitting kind of, it depends. If I use larger knitting needles, when I say larger, like a 9mm, these are a 5.5, then I can knit for longer. These ones I can knit for, probably a half an hour to an hour. If I'm working on socks, I've got maybe a half an hour, because those needles are so small that I think it just makes my hands sore sooner. And I try to put my knitting down more often and give my hands a stretch, because I find that it needs it more often than I do when I crochet. So in terms of time spending doing these type of things, I always spend more time crocheting than I do knitting, because of the stress on my hands and wrists and stuff like that. Because the last thing I want is to get to a point where I can't do either. So this is the knit dishcloth that I'm working on. And the yarn that I'm using for this, it's just, I got a couple of these bulk cotton cones at Spin Right, and they were a really good deal. The cones worked out to be about $7 Canadian each. So, and they are 14 ounces, so I think that's a really good deal. 14, well, the total between the two cones, because they weigh them and then they price them based on that, the total of the two cones was 31 ounces. So I guess they're about 15 ounces each. So that is the yarn that I'm using for this dishcloth. And I'll show you the other items that I've been working on. Last week in my last video, I talked about wanting to make a tank top with some summer cotton. So I did start on that, and I'm actually almost done, but I'm not done, to the point where I'm sewing it together. So the yarn that I'm using for this is this Bernat Softy Baby Cotton. And this is 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, and it is 3 light. And there is 254 yards on the skein, and this is my third skein that I've used. And I have the front done, the back done, and I've started sewing the two together. That you can see I have one shoulder done and the other shoulder's not done. So I need to finish sewing them together and sewing up the sides, and according to the pattern then it will be done. But I think I don't like the unfinished sides, so I'm going to put a row of single crochet in the sleeves and in the neck to kind of clean up those, and of course sew in my ends and all that kind of stuff too. So that's where I am at with this. This pattern is a free pattern from Yarnspirations, and I'm using the yarn calls for is Bernat Softy Cotton, but the Softy Cotton Baby is the same spec as the Softy Cotton, so I'm using the same yarn. We're calling it the same yarn. So, and this is just a V-stitch pattern, really simple, really fast to work up. I did these 2 panels. I started them Thursday last week, so we're a week in, and I mean, I work, I have other obligations that I do, so I don't have that much crochet time, so this works out pretty fast. So, and I am happy with how it is so far. I did a gauge swatch, and I went up a half a size hook than what it called for. The pattern called for a 4mm hook, and I went up to a 4.5. And I will link this pattern in the description box below. I'm just looking to see if I have it sitting here, so I can show you a picture. Yes. So this is a picture of what theirs looks like. So yeah. So the only other change that I did is I made my body a little bit longer, but when I'll talk about that more when it's a finished item next week, and I'm showing it to you guys. So but yeah, it's almost done, and I'm excited to finish it up. I was really excited to get it finished. I worked on it pretty late last night, and then realized I had to be up a little earlier than normal this morning because my dog went to the groomer today. She's still there right now, so I had to get up and get out about almost an hour earlier than I'm usually ready in the morning, because I wanted to get her in there first thing, and that way, you know, my whole day isn't waiting for her to be finished at the groomers. So that is my crocheted tank top. And the other item that I've been working on this week is my knit socks. And I did finish the heel. That last week I was probably going into the heel. I was probably about here, and I finished the heel, and now I'm working up to the toe. So while I'm working on the heel, I make sure that I have enough time to start the heel and finish the heel in it. So I had some time, whatever day it was, and I just got in there, got this heel done, and you know, the socks are great for like a grab and go project. If you're gonna grab something and you might have 20 minutes to wait in the car, this is a great project to just grab while you're running out the door, because it's in the bag, it's all ready to go, and you know, I can just take it with me and continue working on it while I'm gone. So when it doesn't take up any space. So that is my knit socks, and that is all I've been working on this week. And when I'm finished my tank top, I think I'm going to continue with another summer wearable. I'm you know, as a person who puts content on YouTube, you want to put out things that interest people, but at the same time it has to be something that interests me. So I do think that people are more interested in amigurumi, and I do love doing that, but it's not talking to me right now. It's not something that I'm really wanting to work on right now, so I haven't been. I was feeling that summer Crojo not wanting to do things, and decided instead of forcing myself to do stuff that I didn't really want to do, I decided, nope, I'm just going to crochet and knit what I feel like working on and what pleases me and, what's good for me at the time. So that's what I'm doing. I'm working on my dishcloth and trying to finish up those socks. I would say the socks, like my priorities in my head have been tank top, dishcloth, socks. So I've spent the most time obviously working on that tank top, and I try to work on the dishcloth, get a few rows in every day. The socks, I grabbed them a few times when I was going to go sit outside with my husband for a little bit. I grabbed them to sit outside with him for a while, and the one day I sat down and did the heel. And then a couple times when he's been outside, I've grabbed them just to go and sit outside with him for a little bit. And stuff like that. So, life update. So, last week I talked about how my daughter is going to, I was taking my daughter very soon to her summer job, which she works at a camp up north for the summer. So I dropped her off on Friday. It was hard. We love to see our kids do the stuff that they want to do. We love to see them evolve in life and all those kind of things. But my daughter, she's my bestie. We hang out every day. I do almost everything with her. She goes with me on my yarn shopping excursions. We grocery shop together. We cook together. We clean up together. The days that I work from home, she's almost always here with me. Even when she was in school, which she finished school in April, because she was in college and she finished her courses and she needed to do her internship afterwards. Even when she was in school, she was only in school about 2.5 days a week. So a lot of the time she was at home with me. So it's hard to drop her off and to know that I'm not going to say I'm not going to see her for 2 months, because I will. I'll go see her on her day off once in a while. But the fact I don't get to see her every day and hang out with her every day and, do our day-to-day things together, decide what we're going to have for dinner, make dinner, those type of things, it's hard. So, but I've talked to her since Friday when she left. We mostly text, but she did call the night before last, and we had a nice visit on the phone, and she's having a good time. She sounds really upbeat. This is her 3rd summer there, so they're doing their before the kids arrive orientation. Now, she doesn't really deal with the kids one-on-one, because her job is to do pictures, media, all those type of things. So in terms of spending time with the kids, she's more when they need another body to help out, she does. But other than that, her integration with the kids isn't a lot, really. She's more taking pictures of them and setting up the media stuff for them and stuff like that. So, and for their parents, because some of it is for parents to kind of have some documentation of what's the kids have been doing, what they've been up to, stuff like that. She prepares a video for the kids for their week, for after them fact for them to watch and stuff like that. So anyway, so yeah, she's been through the training before, so she says a lot of it's boring. It's a repeat of stuff she's seen before. But they finally lifted the restrictions that they had for the last 2 years. Like the last 2 years, she was COVID testing twice a week, masking. Last year was kids program, but the kids spent all their time with their cabin group. They didn't really get to pick what activities they wanted to do, because instead they did all the activities and they did them as a group, whereas this year it's back to choosing the activities that they are interested in and getting to do, you know, that, as well as, you know, they do kind of get them to do other things. So they'll take them out of their comfort zone a little bit. And it's good, you know, it's how else are kids going to learn to like new things? So, but this year they get more choice on what they're doing again. So, and my daughter's really excited for that, and to have things be more of a normal year, more like it was when she was a camper there, because she was a camper there when she was younger. We used to send her for, well, her and our son, both of them used to go for a week every year. They started going when they were about 9 or 10, and our son stopped going. I don't know if he even went his last year of teen week, because when they're teen week, I think they can go to teen week up to, I don't remember if it was 17 or 18. So our daughter went all the way up to where she aged out, and then she should have done LIT then, would have been her next program, but she missed LIT due to the year that the camp was not open for COVID. And then she went right into being on staff. So yeah, so that's update on my daughter and life about that. I already told you guys, Sophie's at the groomer. She's getting her hair cut, getting a good bath. She was feeling a little hot, and her nails need to be trimmed and cleaned up and all that. So that's where she is this morning. If you can hear the kids outside, school is still in, and I don't know if, it seems like when my kids were in school, it seems like school was done, I thought it would have been done yesterday. Either yesterday or Tuesday. It seemed like they had, you know, the teachers had 2 or 3 days at the end of the week to get their classrooms packed up and stuff, but it sounds like the kids are at school. I don't hear like a lot of noise, so it's possible it's just there's a before and after school program that runs on PA days, so it's possible it's just them, but it seems like a little bit too much noise to be just the before and after school program. So especially because, at least, I mean, my kids went to the before and after school program at that school because we lived here when our kids were little. And we used to also sign them up for PA days as well, because I worked outside of the home back then. So, but there was never a lot of kids at the PA day programs. There was maybe 20, and it sounds like more than 20 kids outside. So, anyways, but school's almost done. It will be done at the end of this week. And the other thing that's going on around here is, yesterday, the air quality was very bad. The forest fires, the wind is blowing the direction that the smoke is coming down to where we are. And so yesterday, when we went outside, to me, it smells like, I call it old man pipe, you know, like, I'm in my late 40s. So, but I remember when I was a little kid, it was always older men, like my grandpa, my great uncle, they smoked pipes, and that's what it smells like to me, is that pipe smell. But yesterday the air quality was very bad. When I went outside, you know, you could really smell it, and it was kind of choking me up pretty quickly. So for the people who, thankfully it hasn't been that hot, so for people who have respiratory issues, they've probably been able to close up a little bit more than it would have been if it was really hot. Like on the weekend, it wasn't that hot temperature wise, but it was so humid here. It just felt wet when you went outside, because it was like, I think 24, 25, 26 Celsius around there, but with the humidex, it was like up to like 32 or something crazy like that. Yeah, it just felt wet outside on the weekend, but the air quality, like the smoke wasn't bad. Now, my daughter texts me on, because I dropped her off on Friday, so I guess it was Sunday morning she texted me and sent me a picture of the lake, and you could just see the brown in the sky. And I said to her, "Is that smoke? Can you smell it bad?" And she said, "Yeah, it's pretty bad here today." So yeah, she's closer to where the fires are because she's up north. She's not in danger where she is or anything like that. She's quite a bit south of where the fires are, but the air obviously there is even worse than it is here. So, but you know, it seems like we've had a lot of rain, and it seems like that rain should be helping things get under control, but it's not, unfortunately, and I hope that they get it under control really soon. I'm sad for all the forests that we're losing. I'm sad for the animals that are losing their lives, losing their homes. I hope they get it under control really soon. It's concerning. So, well, there goes the bell for the beginning of school, which doesn't really mean a lot because even on holidays around here, the school bells still go off usually during the day. But they'll get turned off for the summer. They will turn off the school bells for the summer and all that kind of stuff, and it'll be very quiet over there for 2 months, and it's very odd during the summertime. So anyways, so I'm starting to ramble. Is there anything else I wanted to talk to you guys about? Hubby and I are going to go camping this weekend, so I want to finish up that tank top. Hopefully I can finish it up tonight, and then figure out some projects to bring with me for the weekend. I'll probably bring small, simple projects. My dishcloth. Probably bring those socks, but I'm going to want a crochet project too, so I need to find something. Well, I know what I want to start next, so I need to get that pattern out and see if I think that's something that I can do while we're away for the weekend, and if I don't, then I'll need to find something else. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but now the kids are yelling. So I better get off of here, or else I'm going to have to go close up the door so that it's not so loud. So yeah. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for liking my videos. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you next time on Lori Hooks. Bye, everyone.